Hi, I'm Shaikha, and I'm very thrilled to be here, so thank you for having me. I am the founder of Oracle Connect, and I call myself a health systems designer. So often when people ask me, what does that mean? I kind of struggle sometimes to relay how much I love what I do and what I do, in a sense. So when you love something, the best thing to do is to look for the beauty of it in nature. This is an oceanic white shark, and the small fish around it are the pilot fish. And I love this analogy. Many of us know that the small pilot fish feed off the shark's meal when it bites its prey without expending any energy on catching the prey, which seems kind of unfair sometimes. But I always wonder, why is it that this happens in nature and we don't have it in health systems? And I don't have an answer for that until today, specifically in healthcare. And that's what I like to do in healthcare. Now, the next question is, what is the application of that in healthcare, and why do we need it so much? For that, I will have to explain one of the pressing issues of the 21st century as stated by the United Nations. Recently, in the past 5 or 6 years, not even more, the United Nations has stated that one of the most pressing issues of the 21st century, next to global warming, next to world poverty, is something called population aging. What that means is many of us have more siblings than we have children, right? If that is true, then that's a sign that our populations are aging. We have more people over the age of 65 for the first time in human history than people under the age of 5. Just imagine what that kind of thing imposes on the healthcare system. When I first started my work in public health, the funny thing is that I did not know that it would lead me to where I am today. We used to organize comedy nights and social events, and we were just fantasizing at the time. We were like, what if we wish we could like bug people or poke them with needles or like get cortisol swabs and see the effects of our comedy nights on their evening or their week or their month. Of course, it was a fantasy at the time, but today I can very happily say that healthcare is heading towards that direction. Our solution basically provides a communication network for family caregivers who are the families of long-term patients at home. And by monitoring their activity at home, any of us who are doctors here know that it is very difficult for clinicians to keep up with treatment past the hospital stage. Once the discharge happens and people ask the patients, what are you doing? How often are you sticking to the treatment, the medication? It's not objective at all. Sometimes people forget what they do. Sometimes they lie. And so for the first time in healthcare history, doctors are going to now be able to have passive, real-time, back-end data about how people are doing beyond the hospital. When we were joking, when I was working in public health with the comedy nights, I did not expect that healthcare would eventually lead us to that stage. And I can say, from my experience, healthcare is sprinting. It is sprinting. It's moving so fast. And I can guarantee, from what I know today, sooner than we know, platforms such as Oracle and others are going to prove to provide that service. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for listening to me.